What's good? What's good? Peace and blessings. Much love and respect. Always. Peace to the good energy people. Welcome back once again to D.A.P. Oh, yeah. Listen, we're going to go over some of the things that I think people need to know. And it's not that they don't know it. I just think that a lot of people might not want to be aware of it just because. And it's not that they're not aware of it. I think we don't look on both sides of the coin. Sometimes a lot of people like to look at the coin, the heads side. And some people might look at the coin, they like the tail side. But they don't, take in considerations that the coin does have two sides to it. So what I want to do is give you another perspective. Because that's what we do on D.A.P, right? Once again, welcome to D.A.P. If you can do me the favor and share the page. There's two sides to the coin. Like the page, because we're going to get into this because I think it needs to be said. Of course, there is going to be some emotional responses when it comes to situations where someone have been hurt, someone have been, unalived. There's always going to be emotional around the situation. But if we can get out of the emotionalism of things, then we can see how it's a way that we can prevent some things if you look at both sides. Again, a lot of times people don't look at both sides. And through history, we can tell that that's a problem because it's become patterns that happen over and over and over again. Let me give you a small scenario. Say, I remember going to Vanessa Pool back in the day. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Vanessa Pool, whatever it is. And when we go there, there were rules and regulations of the pool. But for some reason, a lot of people did not either read the signs or respect the sign or respect the rules or read the rules. So because some didn't read the rules, some of them are really big blue on the ground or big red on the ground. The rules, I'm saying. Some people would just rush, run, and jump into the pool where it clearly say, don't jump, don't run in towards the pool or dive in the pool. Don't do that. These rules clearly said that. But when those who did not acknowledge or care about the rules, there were consequences. There were consequences because they didn't follow the rules or regulations at the pool. Some people would jump in the pool or dive in the pool where it says 3 feet. And the rule said, don't jump in this area. Okay? Some people still jumped in. I know guys who jump in the pool, dive in the pool, and bust their head on the bottom of the pool because they didn't care or respect the rules of the pool, even when they knew the rules. Okay? So I'm saying that to say, a lot of times we don't look at the other side. We don't see the other side of the coin to prevent these things from happening. Now, if I yelled out, or if the lifeguard yelled out, "Stop running!" Few guys jump in the pool. Yo, don't dive, don't dive, don't do that. Some may get over, some may bust their head. Okay? And if it's continued to not be respected, it's going to happen over and over again. So they'll call people out the pool, everybody out the pool, everybody out. Everybody sitting on the end of the pool, at the edge of the pool. So now he's giving the rules and regulations over again for the newcomers, those that don't know about the rules. And eventually, those people that's new that may have been jumping in, diving in, now they're corrected and you don't see them doing that no more. Right? So I'm here just to give you some sound advice, some sound guidance. Not because I know more than you, not because I'm better than you, none of that. I know you grown. I heard someone say that to me. I'm a grown-ass man. All right? I get it. But if I'm giving you advice on something that may can help you, that can help you not get hurt on certain situations, why wouldn't I want to do that? You understand? Doesn't matter how grown you are. And if I see you doing the same thing, keep jumping in the pool, diving in the pool, and I'm coming to you and saying, yo, don't do that, bro. Don't do that, because the last time this happened, a few guys got their head busted wide open. They were taken to the hospital. You understand? Okay, you don't like the rules. You don't like to be told what to do. It's understandable. I get that. But if it's going to cause you to get hurt or get harmed, I think we all should take heed to those rules and regulations. Now, no one deserves to have their head bust on the bottom of the pool. No one. But if you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, we all know that is insanity, right? Right. So we all know we know our rights. Everybody know their rights. We understand that. There's a lot of people talking about the rights of the people, the rights of civilians. What they shouldn't do, they don't supposed to, they shouldn't. Oh, that's wrong. That is out there. We understand that. I am one who say the same thing. That's wrong. They shouldn't do that. That was messed up. He was wrong for doing this and wrong for doing that. But you know what? As I sit back and see these situations that happen over and over and over again through the years, a lot of us are in the age of seeing these things in the past that happen over and over and over again. Now we here, 2026, and the same things have been happening over and over and over again. Who tells people these are the rules that you should make sure you follow as a civilian? Who is telling people that? Now people go and look up what ICE, what police, what authority should not do or what they should do. People look that up. People are on that 100%. Right? 100% people are on that. But nobody talks about what civilians, what people should not do. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. And the weird thing about it is, a lot of times, the masses, Sometimes we be setting people up to get hurt. If nobody in the pool that's around the pool that been at this particular pool, if nobody that's standing around watching these newcomers come in the pool that don't follow the rules, if nobody says nothing to them, therefore, the same thing is going to happen to those newcomers that come to this particular pool. They will be busting their head also on the bottom of the pool. It's important that those who know and seen this happen over and over again when it comes to protesting, when it comes to facing authority, how to face situations, what to do and what not to do. Am I right? That's important, because if not, you are definitely failing them people. You are part of the problem. You see that young man running and about to dive into the pool, and you don't say, yo, stop. You let him do it. You just sit back and just let him do it. You see him coming in, and he said he gonna go over there and do it. I'm tired of standing around and not diving in the pool. Ain't no daggone diving board in here. I want to dive. You're not going to say to him, bro, don't dive. I'm telling you right now, don't dive. This is what you should do. Don't dive. Okay? Get in the pool. Jump up out the water and dive in like that. Don't dive from the ground level. So this is what I'm doing right now. And there are a lot of other people that's out here doing it, but most people are not listening to them. There are certain things you cannot do. One of them is, and I'm going to put it up, when you are planning to go to a protest or you want to be observant and all that, you are emotional. There's a lot of us that's going to be emotional. They're going to be, pissed off. Pissed off to the point of the highest point, I should say, of festivity. And you're going to want to go and go out there and, help out and be a part of, and because you're emotional, because you're angry, you're upset, you're in your feelings and things like that. You may take it upon yourself, I'm going out there to protest. Come on, bro. Come on, girl. Let's go out there, girl, and let's do our thing. Go out there and put our signs up and make a viral moment to show that we were there. We were there. We was trying to make it happen. Yeah, understandable. But there are some things you have to take in consideration. Some things that you cannot do. One of them is, do not, I repeat, this is me telling you about not diving into that pool. Do not approach officers aggressively. See, we know our rights. Oh yeah, we know our rights. We know our rights. But we don't know what we should not do. We know what the officers should do. We know what ICE supposed to do. We know what they can't do. We know if we can sue them because of this or sue them because of that. We know all of that, but we do not pay attention to what we supposed to do and what the accountability of the civilians supposed to do and what they supposed to be and how they supposed to behave or act or whatever the case may be. There's the thing. As far as protesting, they say you can protest, but peacefully, right? Yeah. But do people follow those rules and regulations? No, they don't. Again, do not approach officers aggressively. Do not rush towards officers. vehicles, or barricades. Don't surround agents or block them. Block their movements. Don't point fingers in their face. Chest, don't chest bump or step into the personal space. Why? Good question. Why? The reason why is officers or certain people that's in authority, they take that and they're trained to take things like that as aggression, as you're trying to escalate something, you're trying to escalate a situation. They're trained to read those things as escalation. Although they try their best to de-escalate, you see them, you see it out there. Be honest. Let's be real. Let's like I said, I'm looking on the other side of the coin. I know, and we know the sides of the head side of the coin, but I'm trying to give you the tail side of the coin as well. We know that certain authorities or officers or people, ICE or agents shouldn't do certain things. We know they're wrong for doing certain things. We've seen them live in action doing certain things that are wrong, right? We've seen that over and over and over again. So why put yourself in a situation where it possibly can happen to you if you do the exact same thing that others have been doing by coming up in officers' face aggressively, rushing towards officers, their vehicles and their cars. I've seen many videos where people throwing all types of stuff at cars, banging on their cars, grabbing on the officers, pushing them, pointing in their face. And I've seen officers try their best to de-escalate that. I've seen that. And then I've seen officers react. Okay? Cause and effect. But I'm trying to keep you on the subject of the tail side, which is, what do civilians, what are the things that civilians, people, should not do? Again, we already know what they shouldn't do. We already know what the officers shouldn't do, what they can do. We got the whole write-up on it, you know what I mean? I seen somebody put up a post about it. And he, put all that stuff up, about the rights of what, the rights the civilians have and this, that, and the third, and what the officers shouldn't do. But you never hear nobody talk about what you shouldn't do as a civilian, man. Yeah. You never, ever hear that. So, okay, Rashid, you said you're off on this one, bro. All right, help me out, Rashid. Help me out. If I'm off on this one, let me know what are you talking about. I want to hear your perspective on it, my brother. I appreciate you chiming in. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. So, Rashid, I'm gonna put the number up so you can call in and give me your perspective on what I'm saying as far as what we should not do as civilians, as regular people. All right, I'm going to put the number up. I'm gonna let you get it off, and let me see. Where's that number? Where is the number? All right, here we go. So if you feel like you want to call in, you can go ahead and call this number and we can have a discussion about it. Yep, we can have a discussion. So you can call in. So yeah, I think it's only fair For instance, we only doing people harm. For instance, if you have a young man that's just learned how to drive, he got his license, and you see him all the time, you know him, he's a neighbor of yours. You see him all the time with 3 or 4 cats in the car. They all smoking weed at this particular time. Weed is not legal. They all smoking weed. They drinking in the car. The music blasting. We talking in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Weed was not legal, and you see him all the time. He gets pulled over by the police, and the police got them outside the car with their hands on the car. You see the weed, the alcohol in the car, and you see the situations, but you get emotional because these are young black men. So you go over to the area. What's going on? What's going on? All right, let me get you, Rashid. I'll get back to that story in a minute, y'all. Can you hear me, Rashid? Peace, my brother. How are you? Can you hear me good? Yes, I can hear you pretty good. So let me just get to. Let me hold on for 1 minute. I'm making sure. I want to make sure they can hear you as well. Let me share your. Let's see. Bang, bang. Give me 1 minute, Ra. All right, got you. Let's see. Okay. Down here. All right, go ahead, Rashid. What you got on it, man? Talk to me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So it's not necessarily a wrong on this one. It's really just the onus, right? So we're talking about what officers are giving in general, right? And there's a difference between federal police, state police, stuff like that, and local police, which is your municipalities and stuff like that. They have power, right? And with that power is pretty much mandates and guidelines on how you can use that power, right? And for the most part, every one of these organizations have what is called a use of force. So it's like, yes, we need to understand that as citizens, we can't just wow out, but you have a right to call a police officer a pig. You have a right to do a bunch of different things as long as you're not interfering with what it is that they're supposed to be able to do as far as them doing their jobs. But you can be aggressively, verbally aggressive with a police officer. It is freedom of speech. You can tell them to kiss your ass. You can tell them to, like they're pigs. You can say whatever, and they're supposed to be able to either de-escalate or just ignore it. At the end of the day, they sign up for it. Now, I'm not giving anyone a right to mistreat law enforcement. I worked in law enforcement. What I'm saying is, being someone who's worked in law enforcement previously, I understand use of force. And a lot of the times what we're seeing right now, I don't want this to become a victim shaming. It's like, oh, well, someone does something and all of a sudden, like they deserve to get shot 3 times in the head by a police officer. And I think that I want to make sure that we're not getting to a place where we're switching narratives and we're justifying police officers adverse reactions.
That is not the motive. That I came on here to speak on because we all know those things.
Yep.
I started out with saying everyone knows what the police should do and what they shouldn't do. We all understand that. Everyone knows their rights. All right? But nobody talks about what people should not do. And one of the things I mentioned earlier, Rashid, is which was, how people shouldn't be aggressively rushing towards police, touching their car, banging on this and doing all that, grabbing them, pointing their fingers on their forehead, and things of that nature. All the talk is fine. But what I was saying was, if you walking by officers or people of ICE and you actually chest bump them, that's a total different thing. And those are the things that people don't really speak on as far as that. Now, I'm not saying at all, no one should have to be murdered because of voices and because of words and all that stuff. But physical stuff, that's a whole nother subject. And I think people need to be actually trained on that and dealing with situations like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, to say that's the reason why it happened to that person. But my thing is, if we already seen this over and over again because of the aggression and the negative energy and physical that some people do when they're in situations like this, we've seen it. Why not make sure that, make sure people are abreast on what they should not do? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no. I definitely agree with you. I think where I'm getting lost in is because it's the adverse, right? And the issue is, what you just described is assault. I mean, yeah, we should know that we shouldn't assault police officers. Like, we should know, because that's assault. If you point your finger in a cop's face and you don't touch him, that's one thing. If you press against his forehead, he's more than likely going to throw you on the ground because you just assaulted him. Right. If you spit on the cop, right, it's assault. If you up a cop, that's assault. If you kick a police dog, believe it or not, it's assault. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we should exercise common sense because cops have to exercise whatever their use of force guidelines are. But yeah, I think definitely, yeah, people should know, no, you should not be pressing your finger on the forehead of a police officer.
Right.
Because that's
exactly. And that's what I'm trying to bring here now, because you have people that will get so emotional because they definitely in their feelings because of a situation, and really get to that point where they want to just throw stuff at an officer too. You understand? And I think that stuff like that escalates everything now. So now you're actually trying to basically show the officers or ICE that you want to be able to run them. And if we don't think that these people have a mission and they going out in these streets with a mission in mind after they got their orders, and some of the orders was possibly don't allow no one to stop you from doing what you're doing. And if they get in your way, you do this. If they do this, you do this. If they do that, you do that. And we're talking about the top people, talking about their authority, those that's over them. And if you do this, we're going to back you. So my point is, they also have certain rules and regulations and boundaries for them to do certain things. And if we, as the people, as the civilians, don't know about their rules, regulations, and the boundaries that they have, we setting ourselves up. We setting people up, bro. You know what I mean? Because nobody's discussing that. Nobody's discussing what you shouldn't do. Nobody's really talking. All we hearing is, that's messed up what they did. Oh, that's messed up what they did. But nobody's saying it's messed up what any civilians do. For future references, I'm not saying that the young lady did anything wrong in that car. I'm not saying that. But the video shows something. Go ahead.
Yeah, Renee Nicole specifically, and that's why I guess the sentiment is up, because regardless of anything, a police officer is a policy officer, right? They follow policy. So I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, so did the police, military police, and the military in general in Nazi Germany. And I hate to say it, like people are like, oh, well, why are you always comparing? You can have unlawful orders. ICE occupying cities are unlawful orders, right? So people are in civil unrest, mainly because what they're seeing, they're not sanctioned by the U.S. Constitution, and it's not sanctioned by the Supreme Court or any other laws. This is coming from the executive branch and the executive branch only, which is not lawful. So when we're talking about regular police officers, I get it. You know, we're talking about ICE and what they're doing. Specifically, a lot of what they're doing is not lawful. So does a civilian have the right to step in when they believe that a military or a law enforcement body is overstepping their bounds? And then what is your right? Because any other time we call that revolution. Any other time, you know, when we had the British that were following their lawful orders and their tax of American citizens, or before America was America, and citizens, et cetera, and so forth, the people that rebelled against that were also called patriots.
No doubt.
You know, it really just depends on what perspective you're looking at, specifically when it comes to ICE and the stuff that they're doing. Because a lot of what they're doing has yet to be proven to be lawful, by the way. It's gray areas being taken advantage of.
Right.
Just like going into what happened with the young lady, the Renee Nicole Good. When we're talking about her situation, everyone's talking about the officer that took shots, right? What about the officer that rushed out of his car and went to forcibly open her door? Does he have the right to pull an American citizen out of their vehicle?
Okay. I agree. I was saying that same thing, Rashid. I was like, it was crazy that he did go up to the door and just trying to grab it open. But what I didn't know is she blocked off the block. She actually rolled into the street and blocked them off, and I think blowing a horn and stuff like that, stopping them from passing.
All right. So in the state of Jersey, right? If there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
If you're a corrections, believe it or not, you're still a law enforcement officer. That means if you're witnessing a crime, it is your duty. Like, you have a duty to actually do something. The most important thing is probably report, but if you have a service weapon or just your regular weapon, you can stop someone from robbing a store. You can stop someone from being assaulted. At the very least, you're supposed to detain and report. At the very least. You know what you do not have the right to do as a corrections officer? Stop someone in a vehicle. Because you don't have the I-9 or the Title IX or whatever it is that they call it. So even though you're a law enforcement officer, you do not have the right to do anything with anyone in the vehicle.
Right.
You can see someone, you know what I mean? Your job is to...
So my question to you is, does the civilian have a right to block off authorities that's going on a mission?
Does the civilian have the right to do so? No, because it's a traffic violation. And what are you supposed to do with traffic violations? Right. You're supposed to call the authorities.
Facts.
Who said ICE for authority? They're a federal law enforcement organization. She was blocking streets, a municipal street. So again, that's what a lot of people get lost in that, but does ICE have the jurisdiction to stop someone in a vehicle without probable cause? That in probable cause based off of what they do.
Right.
Without suspicion that she's harboring an illegal alien. Did he have the right? No. Did he have the right to stop her from running away from them, even if they do have just cause? No. She has the right to flee. She had every right to flee, by the way, based off of their use of force. It is their use of force. Federal police officers have a use of force where she was allowed to flee from them. And shooting her was not a justified way based off of their use of force policies. So that officer was in violation of that use of force.
Got it. So what
Him
about
seeing
the part? So what about the part? Just asking. What about the part when it seemed like, as I'm looking at the video, the truck did hit him, like graze him, and
well, who was in violation first? Because he's not supposed to block her either. That's another part of use of force. The use of force states that he cannot block a fleeing vehicle with his person.
I'm
Was
listening.
he in violation? Was he in violation? If he stood in front of her vehicle and she was already in driving motion,
She
whether
wasn't.
going
Though.
back or
She wasn't.
she wasn't,
No.
the keys were right. Can you get a DWI if you're sitting in your car hammered, parked somewhere with the key in the ignition?
No.
Yes. Yes, you can actually. In the state of New Jersey, you can.
But listen, she wasn't in motion when he was in front of her.
Was she in park?
I don't know that. I don't know that part. But I'm saying she wasn't in motion, moving. When she was not moving when he was in front of her. The car was not moving. Because as a matter of fact, I don't know if he was videotaping as well. But out of nowhere, it, pulled off, and then he tried to get out the way.
Yeah, he tried to get out of the way, but the time that he shot it through the windshield, or when the car turned to the side and he shot it 2 more times through a window.
Right. I think that was excessive the second time.
Well, I mean, all of it violates their use of force anyway.
Got it.
So, it doesn't matter. It violates their use of force.
Got it.
Well, excessive is excessive.
Right.
And you just get mad.
But here's the thing, I'm trying to just make sure that, I'm coming across so that people can understand my position here.
Don't put yourself because you do not, as these police officers, understand what their use of force policies are.
Right.
And that officer, he was justified
Right.
in reacting the way that he reacting, but there's documentation out there that says that he wasn't supposed to.
All right, but my point I'm making is that's the reality, that's the theory, that's the book, and all that good stuff. But I mean, the reality of it is it don't pan out to be or go the way that it should go most times when you're looking from the book aspect of it or their rules of it. But why put ourselves in situations like that when we seen plenty years the outcome don't be the way that we want it to go? You understand? It's always something to whereas they have the upper hand, laws change as they go along, stuff the goalpost is moved, you know what I mean? And they come out most times no charge, no penalties, no nothing. They just walk free. So my point I'm making is the civilians, people need to know that try not to put yourself in situations like that, to get hurt, to get murdered. Because we're dealing with people that's not, right mentally, emotionally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real talk. So I'm not going to keep poking a bear, and when I know for a fact they're going to chop my head off, if I already seen somebody's head get chopped off.
Right, and that's what I was going to say, and I'm with you, and I'll play devil's advocate against my own argument.
Right.
And this could be a very good proof of white privilege. Just in general, people are like, oh, well, they don't fully understand it. For one, over 20 people have died in ICE custody, right? Since this whole thing started this year. Over 20 people have died in ICE custody. We only know for sure of one. One, it was very visual, and two, the outrage of it has a lot to do, in my opinion, with who was actually murdered. I'm just going to put that out there. The reason why I say is, to your point, people should know, I don't believe that she ever thought that could have happened to her. But there's people in March that would have never reacted in that way to thinking that that would have been an excuse for them to get murdered. See, in the black community, we have what we call is the talk. In our community, the talk. When you talk to your kids and you tell them the appropriate way to behave when being pulled over by a police officer
That's my
or
point.
interact,
That's my
it's
point,
called
bro.
in our community. We have to talk, but there. To your point, it's like, oh well, there should be a conversation. I'm with you. In our community, we have that conversation. What I was saying is, there's communities that don't understand that completely. They don't understand it because it doesn't happen that often in those cases to people in those communities. No one gave this young lady the talk. Hey, now for nothing, you're in a vehicle, you don't do this. Your kids can't play in a playground with a toy gun because a cop might interpret that as justification to shoot him. Tamir Rice, you have the talk. No one gave her the talk. And the issue is, no one should have to have the talk in the first place. But yes, she didn't grow up with the talk. To your point earlier, yeah, there needs to be a conversation, but to what community? Because we have what we coined the talk,
Right.
in our community.
No doubt. That's it. Bottom line, bro. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. That's all I'm bringing. That talk, you know what I mean? What not to do. Like back in the day, you know what I mean? Grandma, ma, back in the 40s, 30s. Look, when you go outside, make sure you put your head down, put your eyes down. Don't look them straight in the eyes, because they knew and remembered other situations, the pattern, even when you're not doing anything. The littlest thing that you may think that's not bad, but to them, oh, it's really bad. So what we're going to do, we're going to hang you. So like you said, that talk had happened. So this is all I'm coming on this platform and saying what we shouldn't do. And like I said, in the book, how it's supposed to go is not a reality.
Agreed.
No doubt. Thank you, brother, for your call. I appreciate you.
Hear me out. Appreciate you, brother.
Much love. My man, Rashid. That was a good conversation, and I understood exactly where he was coming from, and I see that he understands exactly where I was coming from. And it's not a thing of saying, you know, it's justifiable. No, it's not justifiable. But unfortunately, like I said earlier, things just don't go by the book, even by their own book. You know what I mean? So that talk need to be had with people, even if it's adults, because sometimes we get in our feelings, we get in our emotions, and having that mindset of, oh, they don't supposed to. What the hell? I got the right to do this. You can have all the rights in the world until the reality and emotions and ego kicks in. We're talking about some people that might not even have a subconscious mind. You know what I mean? I don't have a self-accusing spirit. You know what I mean? So all of that comes in play now. And then you don't know what type of mindset these people are in. So you can do everything by the book. And you get out there and, you know, you see others throwing stuff. And now, because you see everybody doing it, now you want to do it. You see people getting in officers' face and, you know, talking real close and in their space. You really shouldn't be in their space to get even close enough to be doing all this. Because reality is different on the books. And the books, they don't supposed to. They supposed to control themselves. They supposed to. But that don't be a reality from the patterns. As Rashi said, like 20 people was, unalive in their presence. Yeah. What's good with you? What's that? Roger said, this whole situation is complicated. Yes, indeed. It's definitely complicated. It's a fact. Yeah, man. Roger also said, yeah, getting aggressive with the law enforcement is usually not a good idea. You can't win, like on the road. You can't win that. You're not going to win that on the road. It's their word against yours a lot of times. You know what I mean? And from what I'm hearing now, they're talking about how they usually set themselves up in front of the car for a reason, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? They almost damn near want you to pull off or whatever the case may be. So they have a right now to pum pum. Yeah. Yeah. So therefore, people need to know that you do not pull off when you have officers in front of you, because in their books they may have a right to do this if you do that. Yeah. Peace and blessings. What's good with you? Let me give you some more do's and don'ts, or don'ts. This is what not to do. Yeah. It got to be said. It got to be said. What not to do. Here's another one. Okay, do not touch officers. Give me 1 minute. Do not touch officers. Yeah, do not touch officers. Let me give you a story real quick. I saw a video once, and there was a situation where a young lady called the police. The police gets there, and she's telling him what happened. She's telling him what happened, but you know how, we are, sometimes we talk with our hands and stuff like that. So she's telling him what happened about how they got into a confrontation, with her sibling or whatever, or her son, whatever. I forget the actual situation, but she started telling him oh, he did this to me, and so she did this, and she hit the officer by just showing him an example of what happened. She did it like 2 or 3 times. He was like, hey, look, don't do it to me. Just like that. The training kicks in. You know what I mean? Even though he know that she was explaining the story by using her hands, the training kicked in. You got me? So yeah, don't touch the officers. If you want to call in, you can give me a call. Another thing not to do, don't touch the officer's equipment. Don't grab on his vest, batons, radios, or his pum pum. All right? No banging on the vehicles. I'm talking to you who thinking about going out there to protest. Whenever you see situations going on with ICE, don't do that. All right? Don't try to stop them with your vehicles. I'm not concerned about what the books say, okay? I'm talking about the reality of what we actually see with our own eyes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not concerned what the books say. I'm not concerned about what they say they should do or shouldn't do. We have done that so many times. We have looked at that so many times. We've seen it so many times. And we sit back and discuss, oh, they don't supposed to do, they don't. Yeah, all right, but that person is gone. All right? That person is gone. Or that person is crippled. And the officer or whatever got off. All right? So don't put yourself in a situation. Don't dive in the pool. No pushing barricades. They put up a barricade, they put up a chain or whatever, and some people out there pushing it over. They're trying to walk away from you, and you're walking towards them, pushing over the barricades and stuff like that. There are people that actually following them in their cars. You think that's a good idea? You think that they have a right to do that? Okay. They're on a mission and you're following them, checking on their every move while they're on a certain mission. I don't think that's a good idea. I wouldn't tell nobody, hey, man, you can do what you want. You have the freedom. You got freedom of riding where you want to ride. It doesn't matter if you're behind them the whole 14, 17 minutes going up and down the blocks behind them. You got a right to do that. I wouldn't tell nobody that. Nah, I would not tell nobody that, and we shouldn't tell nobody that. We setting people up and not even realizing it because we're talking about some type of law or some type of thing that they put in place. The government, this is a government agency. I'm going to say it again. Government agency. That says it in a nutshell. They make the laws. The government make the laws. Do you think they always going to follow their own rules and regulations? I don't know. I don't know. So we got to stop setting people up, telling them you got the right. Yeah, they do until they don't. Freedom of speech. You got the right to freedom of speech. Yeah, you do until you don't. Yeah, real talk. So pushing barricades and all that good stuff, so why? Like I said earlier, don't do that because that automatically escalates. And often it's an immediate arrest. Number 3, do not disobey lawful orders if officers order you to move back. And we all seen that. We all, man, I seen a situation happen. They trying to de-escalate and they had told him, get back, go back. Dude, like, no, man, that's my cousin. That's my cousin, yo. That's my cousin. God, we got it. Get back. Dude kept coming up. He was a little tipsy. He kept coming up. So now they put up a yellow tape. He go past the yellow tape. He gets past the yellow tape. Now this is a crime scene. They put the yellow tape. This is an actual crime scene. This dude pushed the yellow tape to the side and went on. And I'm going home, man. Boy. No, go back, go around. And he kept going. They jumped on his back behind so bad, bro. I was like, wow. They ain't supposed to do that until they did it. My point. So here's another one. They say move back, move back. Clear the area. Disperse. Get on the sidewalk. Stuff going on. It's chaotic. Emotions going on. The book is not in play. This is what people don't understand. The book is not in play. What you read from ChatGPT or on Google or on that is not in play at that moment, because we're talking about emotions. We're talking about ego. We're talking about fear. We're talking about, stress. All of that now goes in play on top of the book that you read. That don't fit in the reality situation. It don't fit in. Oh yeah. Do not argue in the moment. Do not argue in the moment. Comply first. Yeah, comply first. I often do certain videos about being loud and wrong. And this is about, police officers pulling people over, and the person get pulled over, and automatically they look up at the police officer and start yelling and screaming, "Why the F you pull me over? It's a racist thing, huh? Or you just pulling over black people, right?" Stuff like that. So then once the guy asks for license registration, I pulled you over because you have tinted windows. License registration, please. Very polite. That's some bullshit. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. License and registration. I'm gonna ask you one more time. This is the 10th time. I'm gonna ask you one more time. License and registration. And get out the car. Get out the car. You know what I mean? And now you're on the ground. You trying to run. You're tussling. Come to find out, you don't have license and registration. In situations like that, to my brothers, to my sisters, to those that's watching, if you don't have license and registration, cool. Just say, I don't have license and registration. That's it. It's a traffic stop. It's a traffic. Okay, you may get a ticket here. You may go to the, precinct or whatever, but they're gonna let you go right away. That's a small thing. What's the use of getting angry and aggressive and all that stuff to make the matter worse? Now it turns into a felony. Loud and wrong. Yeah. Nobody's telling people that. They keep saying, well, you got a right. You got rights. So disobeying orders give legal justification to some things, which is sometimes situations force or an arrest. Number 4, do not throw anything at all. Bottles. Do not throw shoes. Do not throw a can. Do not throw a cone, one of those orange things that be out there. Do not throw that at an officer. That will get you pepper sprayed, possibly tasered. Who wanna go through that? Nah. Do not throw anything. Rocks. Your bowl of spaghetti you got in your hand. Do not throw that at the officers. Nah. I'm discussing things that the civilians, people, should not do. There are already many different content creators. There are many different a lot of different information out there of what you are allowed to do. There's a lot of information that's out there to show you what authorities shouldn't do and should do. I'm giving you information right now on what you should not do as a civilian when it comes to authority. Take it or you can let it alone. All right? Because you may find yourself in a situation and you might actually kick into what I said. It might kick in and say, you know what? I ain't doing this. I'm out of here. Yeah. Number 5. Let me go back to number 4. Because if you throw food, water, bottles, cans, spaghetti, a biscuit, they'll look at that as a weapon. Yeah. Those objects will be looked at as weapons. Facts. One little small item can turn one small item thrown. It could be a wet straw and you threw it at the officer's face. Just a wet straw with Pepsi on it. That one thing can turn a peaceful protest into a chaotic, bloody situation. Just like that. Just like that. Yep. It can turn into a riot. Number 5. Do not cover your face if your state restricts it. If your state restricts it, do not cover your face. Masks, bandanas, ski masks, hoods, those things can be used to justify detention. In some states, people don't know that. People don't know that. They can grab you up just on that alone, especially at a protest. They're going to grab you up to see who you are. Why? To see if you got warrants, to see if you got this, to see if you are legal, whatever the case may be. They're going to grab you up. You're helping them with that. Especially if it's an unlawful assembly. Yeah. They're going to say things like, oh, we detaining you to identify you. After we already seen you throwing stuff and all that, and you're being unruly here. Yeah. Number 6. Do not block traffic. Do not block traffic. Do not block the routes. Don't stand in the highways, the tunnels, the bridges, or the entrances. Don't block the ambulance or public transportation. Why? Why? This triggers rapid police actions, man. The responses, real quick, automatically, they're on you. All right? And they'll try to give you harsh charges. Number 7, do not have any weapons on you of any kind at protests or you observing something. Do not have any weapons on you. No firearms. Even if it's legally owned. This is some of the rules they're saying, talking about what you should not do. Fireworks, lasers, spray paint, glass bottles. Don't have that in your possession. Because when it's in your possession, they can justify that as a weapon. and they are justified to arresting you regardless of your intent. Here's one thing that I see that always happen. Always happen. We see this on video all the time. Right? Do not argue the constitutional law on the street. They don't care. That's the book I was telling you about. That's all book stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's fine. But right now, we on these streets and the emotions is up. You just cursed this guy out. Talked about his wife. He talked about his mama. Yeah. And they supposed to be able to take that. But like you say, you human. You in an argument with anybody on the street at your job. And they start screaming at you about your mama, your wife, and your kids. And you're going to feel a certain way. See, that stuff not in the book. That's a natural law within the spirit of a person. That's why things get chaotic. That says in the natural law, in the spirit of a person, disrespecting me in my space and my face. There's no need to talk about the constitutional law under chaotic situations at that moment. You're wasting time. Don't debate. Don't debate free speech at that moment. Unlawful orders. Face to face. Oh, it's my right. You wasting time. And you creating, you escalating the situation at the same time. Yeah. Mention those things in court. Mention those things in court. If you want to press charges or take it further, go to court and say all that stuff. Videotape it and go to court. You doing all that screaming and back and forth with all you're doing is escalating the emotions in yourself and in the officer. We're talking about things you should not do. All right? Just in case one of y'all want to go out there and protest and be amongst the people and fighting for your rights or fighting for their rights. I'm going to say it again. Even if you want to go out there and fight and help people fight for their rights to be here. Yeah. Okay, don't debate that. Okay, free speech and all that good stuff. Don't challenge authority verbally, man. In a heated moment, it's not worth it. Don't challenge authority in a heated moment. Why? Because, I'm going to tell you why. Those debates in the street, think about it. You're not protected. You're not protected in the street having debates and if something break out real weird and crazy, and you're not protected, man. Yeah. The street don't protect you. The courts protect you. Go to the courts if that's the case. Do not resist arrest. Do not resist arrest. Let me show you what resisting arrest is. Bad move. Bad move. Civilians, regular people should not resist arrest. Physically or verbally. No pulling away. No stiff arming the police officers or ICE. No yelling threats or insults. Why? resisting, add charges, and justifies use of force. You feel me? See, this is what they are using, and you don't even know that. Some people don't even know that. I'm telling you, they don't know that doing this gives them a right in their books and their law to do this. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know that they have them rules and regulations. Yeah, so when they view the case and they see that the officer did everything right up until you did this in the book, it says, oh, officer, you have a right. As soon as he do this, oh, that's assault and a resisting arrest. He elbowed me. You got to know that. You want to call in, go ahead and call in. Let me know if you are against what I'm saying. If you're against what I'm saying, give me a call. If you want to dispute what I'm saying, give me a call. Do not let, this is number 9. I'm sorry, number 10. Do not let your emotions override your judgment. A lot of people are there with that. You have to look at your emotions, evaluate it, and then say to yourself, think 5 or 10 times, should my actions that I want to do follow my emotions right now? Nah. Yeah. Do not let your emotions override your judgment. Your anger, your grief, your outrage, all of that can cloud your decision making. And then you find yourself behind bars. Dang, I ain't had to do that. Why I did that? You know what I mean? Yeah. Emotional escalation is often what authorities anticipate. They waiting on that. That's why I put up a post earlier and I said, y'all don't go out there and talking about you going out there with some signs to help out and protest and be down with what's going on out there in them streets, man. They waiting for that. They would love for you to come out there with that emotional aggression. They would love for y'all to go out there and help out and show it, you know, you're going to tell them off and all that. They will love that. They will love that. I'm telling you, don't be fooled. Don't be tricked. They've been practicing. They got new equipment and everything. They was brought new equipment. A lot of money spent on a lot of artillery, a lot of stuff. So they looking to use that stuff. Trust and believe. So, like I said, the emotional thing, the emotional reactions are predictable. Yeah, and they exploit that. They definitely exploit that. You know what I mean? One thing that you have to understand, ICE, DHS are enforcement first agencies, right? Like Rashid mentioned as well. You know what I mean? They're not community policy entities. They don't need the public approval to act. They don't need the public's approval. Nah. Oh, yeah. So, for those that might be in their feelings and want to be out there, I just want you to know, straight up, you better be on some Martin Luther King stuff. You better go out there being on some Martin Luther King stuff if you are going out there. Peaceful protests. Because when they see your face, oh, the energy level, the, how can I say it? You know, that testosterone kicks in even more when they see your face. Be peaceful. Follow instructions, even if you disagree. Why we guys stand over here? Sir, ma'am, sir, you're in the street and we don't want nobody in the street because you're blocking the street. The traffic is coming through. I don't want to stand over there. I want to stand over here with, they over there, they doing it. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. Stay in if you're filming, you videotaping, you know, your videotape, your camera, you got zoom on it. You don't have to be all up in the situation. Stand back. Stand back. Zoom in. You feel me? Zoom in. You don't have to do all that. The bottom line is this. You can basically protest. You can protest in peace. You don't have to have great emotions while you're protesting. You don't have to be confrontational while you're protesting. You don't have to be defiant. You don't have to be negative. You don't have to be all aggressive. None of that. So that's what I want to bring to you today. The do's and the don'ts. The do's and the don'ts. Basically, more than anything, what not to do. What not to do when you're dealing with authority of any sort. If they have authority over you at that moment, respect authority, man. Respect the rules, respect the regulations. You know what I mean? Respect it. That's all you gotta do. Much love and respect. If you feel like you want to give me a call, if you're against anything that I said, if you want to dispute anything that I've said, you can call right now, 973-433-5666, and we can talk about it. Yeah, and we can talk about it. Thank you for tuning in. Please do me the favor, if you can, like the page, share the page, follow me on David Adams. You can subscribe also on David Adams Facebook page. Subscribe and follow. And you can go to YouTube and follow me on David Adams Podcast, D.A.P. Make sure you do that. Go over there and press subscribe. Bringing you content, bringing you information, bringing you all types of information and content. I want to show you guys this before I leave. You can watch it with me, all right? This is a video from, what is it? Let me see, who is this? This is Brandon Jamal. This is some footage that was put up by Brandon Jamal. So I want to thank him for the content here. This is a full video. All right. I'm going to share it with you guys. Here we go. This is about 3 minutes before everything happened that day. All right, notice the person that's blowing a horn, it looks like they're in the middle of the street, pulled from a certain area and in the middle of the street, actually blocking. Just wanted you guys to see this. Someone sent this to me. And I guess it's coming from somebody on a porch or something. And I think it looks like they will come down the block. Yeah, that's the middle of the street. That's not, someone told me there were cars parked slanted all on the same block. And looking at the video, that's not true. This car is in the middle of the street, not on the side, even by the snow. Cars are coming down the block. I think some cars might be going around. I don't see that part yet. Yeah, this is a few minutes way before the situation. And it looks like that person is blowing the horn. Also. Creating a lot of noise. And they're blocking the street. Yeah, this is coming from somebody's apartment. Now they're trying to get her to move. Yeah, this is a really good angle here. Oh, they don't show everything.
You see how fast some tables can turn? How quick people can choke on their own words when reality smacks them right in the mouth. Let's take a trip down memory lane real quick, shall we? Because when it was Ashley Babbitt, the script was already written, right? Oh, she got what she deserved. No sympathy, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, then Trump jokes after an assassination attempt they shouldn't have missed. Crowd laughs, memes, then Charlie Kirk, protect your neck, singing, cheering, vibes immaculate. Halloween costumes, violence is funny then, huh? Death is comedy when it's politically convenient. But now a new POV drops instead of Twitter theories. Not spin, not vibes, actual fucking video of what went down. Irrefutable POV. And suddenly it's, whoa, let's slow down. Let's wait for the facts. Let's not jump to conclusions. Out of here. Don't laugh about bullets when it's your enemy, and then cry about due process when it's your team. You don't meme someone's death one year and then demand compassion the next, like it's a morality light switch. That's the double standard bullshit we're talking about. We'll lump Jasmine Crockett's ass into that shit too, with them fake ass crocodile tears dripping from them umbrellas on her face. Is the woman dead? Yeah, that shit sucks. Do I feel bad? No. Oh, well, how can you say that? With my mouth. Oh, well, she had kids. Did she? Then her ass should have been at home, not in the streets agitating people. Sucks she lost her life, but I feel bad for the dog. Shot by the same federal agent that Jacob Frey claims wasn't injured. And instead of consistency, all we got was spin, excuses, and silence from the same people who told everyone to shut the up and accept it when the roles were reversed. If violence is justified sometimes, then you don't actually believe in justice, you believe in power. And when that power points a gun at your side, suddenly it's not funny anymore, right? Suddenly you don't like jokes about missing. Suddenly singing about protecting your neck feels real personal. Funny how that shit works. The fake outrage, the selective empathy. Not so funny when you're getting your face blown off anymore, is it? If you cheered death before, keep that same energy now. And if you're uncomfortable all of a sudden, good. That's called consequences. No apologies.
As a lifelong Minneapolis resident, I just want to come on here and say, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that everyone in my state is so I'm exhausted of it too. How do you think the rest of us here feel? Believe it or not, most of us here in Minnesota aren't psychotic liberals. We just want our state back. We just want the state and the city of Minneapolis and the Twin Cities that we knew and loved growing up. We just want that back. But these absolutely insane liberals, these communists, they are literally communists, have taken over everything. Do you know how embarrassing it is to say that I'm from Minneapolis? Because the only time that Minneapolis is ever in the news is because of something awful. Whether it was COVID snitch lines or the George Floyd riots or that incident that happened at the Catholic school, obviously the Somalian fraudster. And now, of course, the incident with ICE. I am ashamed to be from here. I am ashamed, okay? Especially because it didn't always used to be this way. So I am actually coming on here and begging. I am begging for prayers at this point for my hometown. I'm so tired, y'all. We are so tired. Please pray for us.
I just want to get this straight here. Laken Riley was attacked and assaulted and to death so badly that her skull was caved in and she wasn't even recognizable. Jocelyn Nungare was 12 years old when she was and strangled to death under a bridge. Rachel Morin was also a 37-year-old mom when she was attacked and to death and left beside a jogging trail, all by illegal aliens who shouldn't have even been in this country in the first place. And there were no protests for them. The left didn't care. The media didn't care. Democrats wouldn't even stand up in Congress for their names. But y'all will gather by the thousands and stomp through the streets after a woman was by ICE after it looks like she hit one of them with her car. Look, I don't want to see a woman in her car, but she because she was out in the street in a city she didn't even live in, LARPing like she was the hero in Schindler's List. This is not a video game. You're not playing Call of Duty and killing Nazis. Illegal immigration has an actual effect on this country. Consequences on crime, on housing, on our job market, on our economy, and on our highway safety. It is not your stage on which to play hero just because you're a first world white woman with nothing better to do with your time who wants to feel so desperately like you're a part of something. Immigration officers are not the bad guys. The bad guys are the drug dealers and the human traffickers and the criminals who rape children and women and leave them beside hiking trails. And if liberals had any sense whatsoever, that's what they would be upset about.
Let's be honest, we all know an aggressive-ass bitch like Renee's widow. You know, the type of stud that takes on women with multiple children and custody issues because they don't care if the woman is immoral. They're studs. They only care that they get a woman because studs have a... How y'all even get pleasure? Do y'all use the strap-ons too? You know, I don't even care. But these studs be walking around so angry, riled up, and frustrated because they walk and talk like the thing that they hate. This type of stud gets really aggressive with men. They have a big problem with men with authority. Ask any club bouncer. Show your face, big boy. We don't change our plates, so they'll be the same when you come talk to us later. U.S. citizen, former veteran, disabled veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say you go ahead and get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. So then one of the officers tells y'all to get out of the car. And this is the last thing your wife heard you say.
Drive, baby. Drive, drive, drive.
Two dumb bitches making terrible decisions for each other. And what about them damn children? Are you gonna take care of her damn kids? Are you gonna be a mommy to those kids that don't have a mommy anymore? And what about the 6-year-old? The 6-year-old just lost his father, and now he done lost his mother. Cause you said,
drive, baby, drive, drive, drive.
Well, thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate you. Much love and respect.